And you're welcome back. We have our final guest for today inside of our SME segment, and his name is Joshua Riebelle, or Riebelle. At least I got it corrected now. It's Riebelle, actually. I've been calling it the French way, but stand corrected. Now, he's the co-founder, CEO of Shopkite, a design enthusiast with over 14 years experience, which spans across interactive design, animation, front-end scripting, art directing, prototyping, and also UX design. You are welcome, Mr. Riebelle. Tell me, what language is that?
That's Urobo.
Urobo. Do you know what it means?
It means let's come together and be merry.
Yeah, let's come together and make money. Is that what you said? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Be merry.
Be merry, make money.
Well,
oh, money makes you merry.
That's a good twist to it.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Good.
Let's talk about Shopkite. What exactly is Shopkite about? I know it's a virtual app. I know that it assists you as an individual when you're shopping, but I know it's a bigger platform for especially shop owners. But talk us through that before we go into in-depth how you guys designed it and what need it fulfills.
Okay, so Shopkite is addressing a very huge market gap, and that market gap exists among retail stores, neighborhood stores, and it's helping them to manage their everyday sales and inventory, basically, and also gives them an online store automatically once they sign up.
Okay.
That way they can reach out to customers wherever they are in Nigeria. They don't have to be physically in their store to see what is going on. They can track sales and, from wherever they are in the world, basically.
Nice. Okay, interesting. So as an individual who's going shopping, I have to have that app on my phone. So does my shop attendants. Do they?
Yes.
That's how it works.
So right now, we're just focusing on the shop owners.
On the shop.
Individuals don't yet have a version of that app because we are trying to build a base of merchants and then grow that base enough so that when individuals come on board, it will be easier for them to find stores in their neighborhood very quickly.
Okay, so it's in use currently.
Yes, it's in use.
As an individual, when I walk into my neighborhood store and I make a purchase, how does that interaction go? How does that transaction go?
So it's on the end of the merchant. Most of the time, you won't see that happening. So you just go buy whatever you want to buy, make your payment. But the merchant now has Shopkite to be able to track that sale because prior to now, most of them just use paper and biro. When you go to your neighborhood store, you still see some of them write on paper and biro, and anything could happen to that. Sometimes during recording error.
An inventory.
So it's an inventory too.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Now, why did you guys choose to design, focus on this specific function for shop owners?
So there are a number of verticals we are trying to address across the e-commerce space, but we realized we couldn't address those issues without first giving the store owners a proper recording tool. And then, of course, logistics, cost of logistics, time it takes to get your product from point A to point B. Yeah. And then the manufacturers also understanding what's happening with their product. All that is still a huge gap in this part of the world. So when we started addressing that, we realized that when we understand what is going on in the retail store, we can then understand how best to optimize the e-commerce space.
That's where your UX experience comes in, isn't it?
Yes.
You have to first of all check, okay, this is how you experience going to the shop. This is how the shop owner experiences loss in inventory and all of that. You put that together.
Yes.
But let's talk about secondly, the design of this app.
Okay.
As an individual who, perhaps you, for instance, who can make these designs, how much did it cost? Would it cost the person to take off such a business, to start? What capital do they need to put in? What do they need to have as capital?
So to start a retail store, that's if I get your question right.
To start your kind of endeavor here.
Yeah, well, it varies depending on the scale you want to start with. We started with close to zero budget.
Okay.
We had the design, we had the thought, we had the plan, and then we just started executing because it was all done here in Nigeria between me and my partner. Okay. Design, development, deployment. So it's more of, putting out the time. But if you have to hire someone to do this, then it could cost upwards of 5-10 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's not a business for the faint-hearted or the small boys then, and that's where I was going to now. Okay. That's very interesting. So you didn't have an investor, did you, or did you guys start with an investor?
So we did start with an initial partner who was like an investor, but he's not a partner, more like, and there are three of us.
That's the way to go. I mean, if you can't, just bring them into the fold, say, hey, profit sharing, that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Now, across Nigeria, how many stores have you been able to execute Shopkite at?
Currently at 4,000.
4,000?
Yes.
How did you get that network?
So we grew that network through our agent platform.
Okay.
We open source the agent platform. There are 700 of them in Nigeria, and they freelance and help us to market Shopkite, and they get a commission for every store they sign up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So first of all, you need the capital or the know-how. You need a partner, perhaps, and then you need that agent platform. Without the agent platform, do you think that you'd have been able to get this far? 7,000, did you say, or 4,000?
4,000.
4,000 outlets in Nigeria. Do you think that it would have been possible to do that?
It would have been difficult.
It would have been difficult.
Yes, and more expensive too.
More expensive. Explain that expense to us, what you would have had to do differently.
So you would have had to rely on traditional means for advertising, and advertising is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, buying media placement and all that would have been very expensive. On the alternative, using that crowdsource system,
Mm-hmm.
our cost is low. We only spend when we get subscription.
Mm.
So we don't have to spend ahead of time, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So that keeps the cost significantly low for us.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the fact that apps are becoming the way that we do everything now, whether you're at home or whether you're on television or you know, wherever it is that you might be, apps are becoming a part of our life.
Yeah.
They also upgrade very, very quickly and flippantly. One app today becomes obsolete the next.
Yeah.
What would you do, or what do you advise anybody who's inside of this kind of business space to do currently or consequently to their apps or their business in this field?
So it's quite straightforward. They have to keep a very open and consistent support line, more like a pulse on their market, on their audience, to understand exactly how they feel so they can adjust accordingly. Because I mean, maybe it's an African thing or a Nigerian thing where most businesses don't pay so much attention to customer support, and a lot of good feedback is blocked there.
Feedback.
Yes. So we're constantly looking out for feedback. We're constantly taking feedback and using that feedback to
tweak,
improve. Yeah.
Because that's the user experience you actually need to make your app better, to make your product better.
Yes.
So if they say this and this about it is actually it's not working too well for us, and you have to adjust that one quickly.
Yeah.
So the main goal for you is to create a solution for people. Is it that you eventually want to sell this app to a bigger investor, maybe international? Because we have had that happen to many other instances in the Nigerian space, in the Nigerian e-commerce space. I don't want to mention names, but you know the ones I'm talking about. And in the end, it sold for billions. Is that where you guys are going?
It's hard
for you to answer, isn't it?
It's hard to say because money changes the conversation quickly. But we'd like to pride ourselves to stay indigenous.
Okay.
You know, to build it up, to really solve the problem in an African way.
Yeah.
Because once, you know, a foreign investor comes in, they change the dynamics. It's no longer that African feel anymore.
Well, tell you what, it's very interesting. I love it. I wish we could talk more about it, but I can't wait to see what next about Shopkite, and I'll have my radar on it.